this is an absolutely urgent, massive warning right now. The bond market is absolutely cratering. The yields are at 4.8% on the 10-year. I don't know if they've hit 4.8%, but they're 4.7998. 4.8. Just hit 4.8 as we're speaking. Just absolutely going through the roof. Going through the roof the last couple weeks, and just like the last day or two, just going up. Obviously, you see the market's down. Probably a lot of people seeing it down 400 points. We talk about this for years now. The stock market is the distraction. It's the light show in the sky that people are distracted with, and the media distracts you with, so you don't see what's actually going on. The bond market, that is really the dog that wags the tail, and it's cratering right now. The last time it was at this level was 2007, and I don't know if, and we talked about this the other day, there was getting those levels just in the last week or so, but we all know what happened in 2006, 2007, leading up to 2008, 2009, 10, 11, 12, the great financial crisis. So that's where we are right now. We're almost the peak of that 07, 06, 07 period. That's where we are. It's broken out of its trend, the long-term trend of yields going down over the last 40 years. It's completely broken out of that over the last year, and bonds continue to sell off, meaning their yields go up because they're inversely correlated. So this is a thing that we've talked about forever, the massive indicators to really understand what's happening and where the world is going, but also to what's going to happen. This is why we have said for so long, I just pound the table to prepare. This is, I just learned about the word manosphere the other day, and someone was saying that, not that I was in it, but I interviewed Cameron McGregor, who's in that world, but I'm in the red pill world, but I guess the manosphere is linked with the red pill world and all this stuff. And it's funny because I don't see myself as any of those things. I'm just someone who wants truth. We talk about here all the time. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself, and seeking truth. Trust, but verify, and trying to get as close as we can to the truth. And as our good friend Zach, the Village Idiot, says, either you can deny truth, you can accept truth, or you can submit to truth. And the most successful people in the world, in his study, and it jives with my study as well, are the people that accept the truth and then submit to it. They're not the people who accept or just deny. They're the people who submit to the truth and use and build their lives around truth. Well, the bond market is not necessarily truthful. It's full of lies. It is a lie itself. It is enslavement, as we've said here many times. When you are buying a bond, whether it's in your 401k, pension, doesn't matter if you know you're buying it or not, you are buying your own enslavement. You're buying your children's enslavement. This is something, again, that you're not taught in school. You don't understand. No one has told you this. And I've had it confirmed for me just in the last year or so, thinking about it, really meditating quite honestly on it. And then Mike Maloney, one of my biggest mentors ever, in the financial world, confirming this with George Gammon. And I had clipped it out and put it on our website just because I was like stunned. I was like the week after I had really just kind of dawned on me. I'm like, wow, this is literal enslavement. You're buying this and you're guaranteed to tax yourself in the future through the government, because the government doesn't produce anything. Newsflash. Government prints currency out of nowhere, types up into a computer. It has to steal that wealth, that time and energy from someone productive, because the government doesn't provide anything. There's no good or service the government's providing to create actual value in the society. Now, people can argue with me, and people do, but that's not the role of the government, because they say, oh, well, what about public services and what about things like that? They've stolen all of those things. Government over time has just silently crept along and taken more and more of the businesses and taken more and more of the productivity out of the hands of the private citizens. And, novel idea, but again, if we need airport TSA security, there will be a private corporation. You don't think there will be some greedy person, man or woman, that says, you know what? The market is calling for airport security. I will create a company that gives us amazing airport security. Hello? If we need roads to travel, if we need things, don't you think people will come together to get that done in a private manner, in a private function, or voluntarily? Heaven forbid, voluntarism, you actually do it for the greater good. There are so many reasons that you could go down this road, but people are just caught in this hamster wheel of thinking, well, this is how it's done, Brandon. The government just does these things. The government is the largest employer in the country. It didn't start out that way. 4 million people. 4 million people. 4 million people. 4 million people are employed by the federal government. That is mind-boggling. The largest employer in the country, and this is why they can now put it and laud it over everyone and put it over your head and say, well, guess what? If the government shuts down, look what's going to happen, guys. Ha ha ha. Again, wasn't supposed to be that way. If the government shuts down, that should be the greatest day in everyone's lives. Everyone just says, cool, didn't even notice. You're so small and tiny, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't affect my life because we're independent. We are, we have our own wealth. We're prepared. We are resilient people. We don't need the government. Why are you even here? Why are you even letting us know? So this is a time to prepare. We've been talking about this for years, really for 15 years. It was one of the reasons I left minor hockey. I was playing in the minors and saw this coming in 08, 09, 10, saw the writing on the wall, saw the political parties doing just ridiculous things and then be coming together to do things as a uniparty over everyone. And this goes back decades, obviously, all the way to the 80s, and 1971, 1964, 1963, the end of 1963. But really, back again before that, the people above, that are way above us, that no one wants to talk about. This 150 years ago, the families, and then even before this, the central banking families that control tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of corporations, organizations, NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and on and on and on, that control the world we are living in. It's the Rothschilds, which is one of the people I'm alluding to. But again, it's the godfather of all of it that said, I care not who makes the nation's laws. Give me the control over the money, and I will rule the world. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's the game. Until you fix the money, until you separate money from state, you will have this problem over and over and over again. We'll have these unbelievable cultural problems. We'll have these massive booms and busts because of central banking, because of the fifth plank of the Communist Manifesto. Number six is taking control of all the means of communication. I mean, you can't make this stuff up at the end of the day. Centralization, number 6, of means of communication and transport in the hands of the state. This is why they're censoring everything. We're playing the Communist Manifesto out. Communist Manifesto means government owns your life. Government owns everything. You don't own anything in your life. You are not free to do anything you want to do unless the state says you can. So, we've gone on some tangents here, but it all comes back together. Bond yields are going through the roof. The bond market, the 10-year is going through the floor, is crashing, and things are going to get crazy. You thought we saw violence in the streets. You thought we saw unrest. You thought we saw homeless problems before. You thought we saw crazy countries collapsing and organizations collapsing. The pound in the UK collapsing. The gilt market last year. We haven't seen anything yet. This is about to happen. You have so many people that have been talking about this and trying to prepare people. The Cameron McGregors, the Greg Fosses, the Mike Maloney's, the George Gammons, the Jim Rickards, you go on and on and on, the Robert Kiyosaki's of the world, for years, some of these guys for decades, trying to warn people as to what's going to happen. So this is the alert. Get prepared. 4.8%, the largest, the highest since 2007, before the great financial crisis. We are in times to try men's souls, and we have just begun. That's the crazy part. But make no mistake, we will be here to be independent, to be resilient, separate money from state, get Bitcoin, a little bit of gold, silver, food, energy, water, ammo, firearm security, and build community. Build people, community digitally, build it around you physically, your local rancher, your local farmer, your local sheriff, and build the people around you, because we are going in 2 times. I'm telling you now, I have felt it for 15 years as an early 20-something playing professional hockey and seeing it and saying, I have to stop. I have to leave this because of what I was studying for 10 years before that, and seeing the writing on the wall, studying this, studying the Communist Manifesto, studying their writing, studying the Club of Rome, studying the NATO, studying the World Economic Forum, studying the Royal Institute of International Affairs, studying these organizations, Tragedy and Hope, all these things that were telling you what was going to happen. But most people, this is foreign to most people's ears, and they think that it's crazy talk because they've been sold a bill of goods. They've been shipped down the river, and they've been distracted, right, with light shows, and it's the equity market, not the bond market, or not equities, not credit. They've been sold this bill of goods of don't think for yourself, just memorize things in school year after year after year, and they become these robots in a simulation, in the Matrix. It's beyond frustrating. So call it manosphere, call it red pill, I don't know what in the world you call it, but it's a search for truth. And that's the journey I've been on for 23 years now, since the year 2000, since I was in 8th grade. This has been a long journey, and we're about at that point. So please prepare. These charts, it's wild. Be independent, be resilient, and the less you're going to need your overlords. Build community around you as well. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Please share this out, because the algorithm hates truth, and this is maybe the most important message that we could have at this moment. And there's others sharing it too. It's not just me. But I'm just saying, if you see this video, please share it out to people that you care about. Any videos you see like this, this is, boy oh boy, this is wild stuff. Question everything in boldness, even everything I say, even the existence of God Himself. Trust but verify. It's not financial advice. It's freedom advice. And I will see you on the next one.